Just started seeing a guy and you're starting to question whether he's really that keen. He's into you 1 minute and then distracted the next. This video will help you to decode his behaviour and decide whether you need to move on or not. Hi, I'm Rachel Wood. I'm a relationship and life coach with Creative Pathways Coaching. The link is just down below to subscribe. So let's get started. So when we find ourselves dating someone who's not showing the enthusiasm that we expect, it's instinctive to sort of amp up the attention so that they like us more. Done that? Yeah? Did it work? Nah. So let's figure out if he's really interested or not. And stay until the end, because the last sign is the really obvious one that he's not interested in you and that you really need to move on. So let's get started decoding his behavior. Number 1, lack of enthusiasm when it comes to phone, text, and messages. Do you usually initiate contact? When he does respond, is his responses usually pretty brief, bland, not very engaging? Sometimes there's days before he makes contact. Not the greatest sign, really. He's clearly not putting in much effort. But some guys aren't great at communicating, and they aren't great at using technology to communicate. Sometimes they're better at communicating in person. Also, he could be just busy at work and stressed out. So if this is the only sign, you just need to assess for yourself whether you're willing to be with someone who's maybe not the best communicator. Number 2, distracted and not really there with you. He's not really engaging on dates, not the greatest amount of eye contact, and he doesn't smile as much as you'd hope that he would. He doesn't open up much about his life and his feelings. You have to do all the work and amp up the attention. Now this could be who he just actually is, and some guys are like that. Maybe not so good at communicating face to face, so a bit of a lack of interpersonal skills, maybe a little bit shy. These guys do exist, and there are a lot of women out there who are happy to take on the challenge. Are you? So this could go either way, really, and in itself is not necessarily a sign of a lack of attention. But do you really want to keep doing the chasing all the time? Number 3, his friends don't know about you. Okay, so there's no photos of you on his social media. Now that would be normal if you've only just started seeing him, but if you've been seeing him for a while and there's no photos of you on his social media, that might be a concern. But it could also be that he's not someone who likes to post stuff on social media about his relationships. I know I'm like that. I don't post stuff about the guys that I'm seeing. But it's a little bit different when you finally meet his friends and you realize he's never actually mentioned you to them, and you've been seeing each other for more than a couple of weeks. Now that's not so great. Most guys tell their friends if they're interested in someone. Number 4, mixed signals. 1 minute he seems really interested, and then the next minute, he's engaging with you in person, but then straight after he doesn't contact you for days and days. You have yet to meet his friends, but he does keep mentioning that you guys need to meet up soon. You feel like you're the one who's doing the pursuing, and when you mention it to him, he's pretty good for a couple of days, but then he goes back to what he was doing before, which is limited contact, not as engaging. He sometimes will get back to you straight away with messages, and other times it will be hours and sometimes a day or 2. Most of the time, his actions and his words convey different things. He says he likes you, but his actions don't always show it. He's doing the hot cold treatment, girl. Sometimes this can be because he's just like that. You know, some guys are. But a large proportion of the time, it's usually because a guy is not quite sure of his feelings for you. Or another thing is that he's not quite ready for a relationship yet. Do you really want to wait around until he is? And then we have the last one. Number 5, you aren't a priority at all. He doesn't plan your dates at all, but leaves it to you. And if you don't do it, it doesn't happen. So you set them up, and then half the time he calls to say he's busy, or even worse, cancels last moment. Primetime nights are out. Those Friday and Saturday nights are out. He's usually too busy with his friends. He keeps you and his social life with his friends very separate. He doesn't go out of his way to impress you. And when he's with you, he's not really that interested in your feelings, and maybe even not really that affectionate. And the only interest he really does display is just before sex. Oh yeah. These are classic symptoms that you are only an option for him. So he's happy to tag along if he doesn't have to do much, preferably nothing at all, just to get some booty. And chances are he probably does have someone else too, highly likely. So unless you're interested in just keeping it as a casual thing and having to do all the work to keep it, I would move on from that. So most of the time when a guy likes you, it's really obvious. He will initiate contact if he's interested. He will remember the stuff that you tell him. He will remember your likes and dislikes. He will want to impress you. Most of the time when a guy is interested, you'll know. There won't be any question about it. And if you aren't sure, maybe it's a sign that it's not meant to be. And if you want more, maybe it's best to move on to someone who's going to give you what you need. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below to see future content. I post a video every Wednesday, every week. And if you have any comments or suggestions for future content, please just put it down in the comments section below. And remember, you can book a coaching session with me at my website, or you can email me. So check out my other videos for more on relationships and dating. And I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.